Right, I want to have a quick look and discussion about peep sights, peep sight height and peep sight rotation. Peep sight height is absolutely critical to how well you will shoot with a compound. First and foremost, let's look at the real mistake that people make. We've discussed in an earlier episode that the draw length is set, the anchor point is set, the head's going to go forward. And that's a consistent and absolutely immutable position. So if I do this and shut my eyes, I expect to open my eyes, peep sight to be directly in front of my eye, rotation correctly, we'll discuss that in a minute, and I expect this scope to be in the middle of the peep sight. Strangely, what a lot of people do is that they are willing to alter this position, this anchor position, in order to see through the peep sight. This that is the basis of what you are trying to do, this tight position which ties up everything in the posture, they're willing to cheat that to see through the peep sight, which you can move easily. So having set the draw length, you will always spend a bit of time drawing the bow, shut your eyes, open your eyes, move the peep sight until it's spot on. And what is spot on? I want this scope to be absolutely centered in the peep sight. We're going to talk in a second about what this at different theta distances, what the issues are there. But I want a peep sight aperture that is small enough to give me be able to see just around the outside of the scope. And this is why you see a lot of scopes that are painted bright colours on the outside of the housing of the body. I don't want a peep sight. I have no interest in what the peep sight does to the clarity of the lens. I can buy a better lens. I can buy a different magnification lens. I'm not interested in putting a clarifier in there and another lens inside the peep sight. I'm interested, my peep sight allows me to absolutely centre that scope body where I want it. There is a little bit of an excuse with respect to clarifiers and peep sight apertures with respect to people with bad eyesight who need a larger peep sight diameter in order to let more light into their eye in order to make up for, as I say, an eyesight defect. Having said that, that is a special case. So a lot of these small look really small and novice and intermediate compound shooters really don't like them. These really small peep sight holes are about the right size. If you look down at well set up, good archers compounds, you'll see very small peep sights. All they're interested in is being able to center this scope in this here. So why is that important? It's massively important that if you alter a little bit of head position, you will shoot high and low. What you're looking for, as I've said, is it centered. Now, when you go out to shoot your outdoor distances, this sight here is set up for 18 meters, and this is a quick bow. I'm going to be probably down around here for 90 meters. What that's going to mean is that when I draw this bow back with the peep sight set here, shut my eyes, anchor, open my eyes, and I've got the sight set for 90 meters, I'm not going to be able to see the bubble. And I could cheat, I could move my head, but that's going to be inconsistent. So what I do when I go outdoors is I move this peep sight down, but it's going to be wrong at 30. Now in Europe, it's perfectly acceptable to move the peep sight normally at the third distance at 50 meters. And we're talking about a very small movement. We're talking maybe half the width of this peep sight. It's not so much liked in Britain. People get a bit hysterical about it. It does have issues about tying up with sight tapes of things like Archer's Advantage. So what we're going to say is we're going to pick a position to put this peep sight in and we're going to work on it, or we're going to shoot that position all day. 30 meters is easy. It's a big target. Shooting open 10s, no hassle. So we don't mind having to move our head into a tight position at 30 meters. We're still going to shoot 357, 358. 90 meters. If we can't see this bubble, because we've got it set for 30 meters, it's going to go very, very badly for us. So we're going to set this peep sight lower when we shoot outdoors, because the sight's on a lower track. And we're going to shoot 90 meters and 70 meters really comfortable. no issues about where that peep centers, because small alterations over such a long distance are going to have a bigger effect than small alterations over 30 meters. And apart from that, the target face is so big at 30, you're struggling not to keep them in the 10 ring. So you're going to do that exactly what we just said about draw the bow with your eyes shut when you've got a 90 meter sight mark. And it's going to have a little bit of effect on your sight mark. Always remember, if you move the peep sight up, arrows will go a little bit higher. If you move the peep sight down, arrows will go a little bit lower. But never, an excitable amount when you're getting your sight marks. And so you're looking for that 90 and 70 being very comfortable. And just quickly to finish up, peep sight rotation. 10 years ago, you would have seen a bit of string or a bit of rubber going out of here onto this limb, pulling this round. Similarly, you're going to talk to people who, if a peep sight doesn't come round on a new set of strings and cables, they're going to want to move some strands. You wreck a lot of strings that way. You heard Chris Destin in the interview that I did with him saying that whether or not a peep sight sits straight is to do with how well the string is made. It's not to do with pre-stressing, and it's not to do with whether it's one colour, two colours, three colours, whatever. So, how are you going to move the peep sight if it's not straight? In emergencies, always useful to remember, you can move it on the knock loop. This is not a long-term solution, but it means you don't have to, quit in the middle of a competition. How do I do it? I go home, set this knock loop at where I want it, the length I want it, set everything up, draw the bow back, and if this doesn't sit straight back to my eye, put the bow in the bow press, put a turn, just one turn on the string. Draw it again. It's never going to take you more than 4 turns, which isn't going to alter the draw length. 4 turns on here, and if it does alter the draw length, you can bring it back on the cables if you really want to. But the only functional way to do this is shoot the string in, and nowadays, that's 25, 30 shots. Then look at the peep sight position and just do it by 1 turn at a time on a bow press. Moving strands works, but a lot of people are going to damage the string, and you see a lot of damage to strands up near the peep sight because of that. So I hope that allows you to see A, how important this is, that this has to come round straight, that it has to centre on here, it has to be in the right position, and B, you are never going to alter your anchor position to see through the peep sight. You just move the peep sight.